אוקיי, היי! מה המצב? עבר זמן מה? וכן, זהו, עכשיו סופית נגמר פרקי חנוכה. שזה כיף, זה אומר בעצם שאני יכול לגשת בעצם ל-regularly scheduled program. וזה אומר investigations. אז יאללה, בוא נראה. זה מטורף, לא שיחקתי מאז ה-21 בדצמבר 24. זה אינסיין. Okay, that's fine. בואי! עבר זמן מה מאז ששיחקתי בזה? אז בוא ניגש חזרה! ל-Ace Attorney Investigations. פעם קודמת! הגעתי בעצם למצב של... אפיסוד 3. בואי, כמה הרבה דברים יש פה. האמת, דבר אחד שאני רוצה דווקא לעשות לפני שאני אמשיך פה זה... לרגע אני הולך ללכת לפה. Regrouping with Ernest Amano. כי יש דווקא דברים שנראה שאני פספסתי בחלק הזה של הצ'פטר. שזה קצת מטורף, כי זה כאילו כבר מתחיל להתקרב בעצם לסוף. אז אני לא עומד לחזור פה עם הדיאלוג, זה פשוט ריפיטים. קודם. אבל כן. משהו שלא ידעתי, אפשר דווקא ללכת לפה. ועכשיו אני נמצא פה. עם K. והנה, אם מתקרבים לפה. Right over here. Going to see a familiar face in the distance from the bridge in episode 3. הנה, זה נעים. Phoenix Smile Pearl. They say that couples who cross this bridge together will find happiness. Or so the Gateway Land pamphlet says. But you'd think that they would already be happy because they were able to come together. Logistics aside, I wonder who came up with this tale and when. This bridge doesn't look old enough to be the stuff of legends. כאילו כמו גשר האהבה כזה? בפריז או כזה? Well, some things are better left uninvestigated. Don't you think? In ignorance is bliss. Okay. זה נראה לי או שזה? אני אעשה את זה קודם. Why is there a blue badger here too? Are you definitely allergic to him or something? It's not like that. It's more the half smile on his face. It's really unsettling. She's disturbed by the half smile. I'm more disturbed by its movements and how it managed to obstruct an investigation. Wow, okay, rising the ashes. בטח לא זז, זה כנראה זה. This man looks suspiciously like the precinct. Look at that lovely smile on the blue badger's face. It's looking at me! Make it stop! It's scary! It's alright, dear. Want to know something? I was the one who created the blue badger. See? Look at his eyes. Don't they look just like Daddy's? It's scary! Scary because they look like yours, Daddy. Wow. Well, that was rather depressing. I think I better leave the two of them alone. The Blue Badger's daddy for having met the creator of the Blue Badger in front of the Gateway Land. Of the opening, I guess. Hey! אני עוד עבדתי עם פיניקס מאיה ופרל. עדיין נעים לראות את השלושה האלה. אבל זה הכל פה. בואו ניגש, finally! ל-Kidnap Turbout. Ladder, final confrontation! Former. פעם קודמת! גילינו את המצב הזה שבו יש 3 קידנאפרים! או רגע, אוקיי. ה-13 במרץ, 3:45. Gateway Land Main Gate. שנייה. רגע, לפני זה, אני רוצה רגע לברר משהו בגלרי. אוקיי, זה מראה לי את זה. שני הצ'ימטים האלה. יופי. מה זה? צ'קמייט, מה זה? Investigations 2. אוקיי. זה אפיסוד 4. כן, that's fine. אז יאללה, בוא נמשיך. סופית. בוא נתקדם. 13 במרץ, 3:45 בצהריים. Gateway Land Main Gate. Where's the costume, Detective Gumshoe? Just on the other side of the fountain, sir. Oh! Was it out here in the open along? No, it was discovered in the tall grass back there. Very interesting. Odd pendant. We moved it out here in order to examine it more thoroughly. Then let's get down to it. Won't twist until I've inspected every suspicious-looking nook and cranny. You want to trim my pendant? What do we have here? Oh, it's another pendant! That's 2 treasures in one day! How lucky is that? And hey, this pretty baby's made of platinum silver too! Another pendant on the one we found on Mr. Deacon. אם כבר מדברים על דיקון, למדנו בעצם שהשם שלו זה קולין דברי. הנה כן. כן, קולין דברי, ויש גם את הלאב לטר שזה לא בדיוק לאב לטר, וזה קשור לוויולה. יש גם את הנושא הזה של הרובה. שזה באמת אינטרסטינג. אני עשיתי את זה. Is it possible that these two... Lang. Hold it right there! Hands off, Mr. Prosecutor! You sure know how to cross the line, don't you? A pendant, huh? This is a very decisive piece of evidence. How can you tell? Look here and read off what you see. Lauren. Hey, it's an angle engraved on this. Lauren D. Pops. Huh. I had a suspicion. Colin the Lauren Deveray. Huh. Oh, they're showing me the Miss Pop's pendant. It's shaped like a pair of wings, Lauren D is engraved on the back. We have you now, Miss Kidnapper! No, you don't understand! Hi. How's it? Oh my god. Wally? Can't believe you were one of my kidnappers. Lance. Lauren the Colin. You're kidding! Miss Pops was one of the kidnappers? Yes, the Shem shell on a pendant. Yes. It was me. I held Lance hostage. אז זה אומר שאת הרגת את אבא שלך. So, Miss Pops is one of the kidnappers. But even knowing that, I can't call this case solved. Or over. Hey, guys! Case closed! Get the car ready! And I mean the special one for this young lady.
Hold it!
יש לנו עוד kidnapper. יש לנו 3. Again, Mr. Prosecutor. What is it this time? Are you proposing that Miss Pops is also the culprit in the murder case? What happened? I thought Officer Meekins was a suspect. We found it. Found what? That officer's gun. He literally jumped it in the middle of a thick patch of grass. Oh my. Huh. Your country's police are a sham. Just look at how careless they are. Who are you calling a sham? The officer's gun didn't show signs of having been fired, so it can't be the murder weapon. בטוח שזה של מיקינס? רגע, איזה סוג של קוסטום זה? זה בלו בדג'ר? זה בלו בדג'ר? So, Officer Meekins has been cleared of all charges, I see. And that's when a brand new suspect comes walking onto the scene. The murder only happened because the kidnappers started fighting amongst themselves. As I recall, it was you who said that, right, Mr. Prosecutor? אבל אין שום סיבה למה שלורן תהרוג את קולין. אין לו שום סיבה שהיא תהרוג את אבא שלו. Miss Pops! Did you really kill Mr. Deacon? Yes, I killed him. I can't believe it. Thanks for the confession.
Objection!
Agent Lang, it's much too early to declare this case closed. Look at you. So sure of yourself. We've got the culprit's own confession. That's a very incriminating evidence. What more could you ask for? No lingering thoughts? Miss Lauren Pops. Yes. I want to hear it from you. Tell me your side of it, of all that has happened today, from the kidnapping to the murder. But why? I'm a kidnapper and the killer. Isn't that enough? Whoa! It's fine if you're the one behind everything, but only if that is the truth. Now then, will you tell us the truth? Or is there some reason why you can't? I've had a change of heart. I forgot to enjoy seeing you sulk away as the losing mutt. Alright, you heard me. Let's hear about all the evil deeds you committed today. Let's go! Miss Pop's confession. The one who came up with the plan, with the kidnapping plan, was the butler, Mr. Deacon. He knew that we could get rich by holding Lance hostage. Mr. Amano would pay anything to get his son back, after all. Everything was going according to plan, but as soon as we got the money, Mr. Deacon turned on me and tried to kill me. There! Are you satisfied? She just confessed to her crimes a second time. At least you have the guts to admit what you have done. I can at least respect that much. Miss Pops, is what you said really the truth? Yes, it is. If that is the truth, it certainly isn't the whole truth. Because there is something that seems a little too improbable in her confession. Go! I was the one who came up. Oh, the one who came up was Decon. We know that if we could get rid by holding Lance hostage. Amanda would pay anything to get his son back. Everything was going according to plan, but as soon as we got the money, he turned and tried to kill me. Oh! Oh, is that obvious? הוא לא היה יכול להרוג אותך. לא היה לו שום סיבה. כי הוא אבא שלך.
Objection!
What? What? לזה? או הפנדנט שלו, קולין דברי.
Objection!
Are you kidding me? זה ליטרלי אותו הדבר! Miss Pops, you really are clueless, aren't you? What do you mean? You never knew what your role in the kidnapping was. Nor do you know who you really are. But I do. And I can show you with this piece of evidence. Why are you showing this to me? So what about the pendant? This horse pendant, along with this piece of evidence, shows who you really are. A pendant שלה!
Take that!
Okay. These two pendants resemble each other, wouldn't you agree? Hey, you're right! They're the same color and they're even made from the same material. I believe that these two pendants are actually one. Uh-huh! Shall we give it a try? Wow, it's totally Pegasus! הסוס המרחב, מיוון. But why? Why does my pendant match up with Mr. Deacon's? Kill Colin! You're a smart lady. I'm sure you can imagine why that might be. No! It can't be! So the two make a set. It's just another trinket. It's not as though this changes anything. You lack imagination, Agent Lang. Very well. I'll show you with this evidence. This is the piece of evidence that gives meaning to the Pegasus pendant.
Take that!
A dossier. Oliver Deacon was just an alias for this man. His real name was Colin Devery, the name that is etched on the horse's pendant. What? An alias? I suppose he had to hide the fact that he was a felon somehow in order to live. And it makes sense, given what is written in Mr. Devery's dossier. But what I really wanted to point out was this. The specific section is what reveals the true meaning behind those pendants. Find that presents all gone to the guard during his escape. If I might head to where his wife and sole daughter was, this message of surveillance has yet to show up. Huh? Marshall? True meaning behind those pendants. Sole daughter? I guess?
Take that!
Get in it! Mr. Devery had only had one daughter, and her name is Lauren Pops. That's a lie! That person was not my father! He couldn't come out and tell you he was your father because he was in hiding. However, I believe he was trying to secretly watch over you. Do you still believe that a man like that could kill the daughter he was separated from? Can I try me example? Or even that such a man would allow his daughter to get involved in a kidnapping plot.
Knuckle back!
And what is so funny, Agent Lang? You're good at making things up in your head and deciding it's the truth, aren't you? What are you trying to say? Your thinking is much too innocent. After all, I thought of another possibility. Is that so? Well, let's hear it. Yalla, go! I'll grant you that the two of them are father and daughter. But is it possible that they both knew that fact? It was no coincidence that their reunited pair became involved in the house of Amano. And the two of them made good use of their meeting to plan this little kidnapping. Wouldn't you say my scenario is perfectly probable as well? So this is his version of how things might have been? You don't have any proof that either one didn't know of their true relationship, right? You mean they knowingly committed the kidnapping as father and daughter? That's right. As one really rotten family. Is that really what happened? I had better take a long, hard look at the evidence. Okay. אני מצפה שזה לא יהיה כזה easy. אני צריך לקרוא הכל מחדש. Both of them are father and daughter, but it's impossible that they both knew it. There was no coincidence that the reunited pair became involved in a mono, and the two of them made good use of their meaning to plan the little kidnapping. Wouldn't you say that my scenario is perfectly probable as well? Mala evidence.
Hold it!
One as a butler, and one as the font of the sun, you mean? They probably thought that was their best shot. Is that what you honestly believe? Of course!
Hold it!
You mean how they plotted to commit this crime as blood relatives? Can you think of a better partner? They're certainly a clever pair. The butler and the girlfriend. No one would ever suspect that they were, in fact, family. Yes! From the very beginning, they painstakingly practiced those roles well.
Hold it!
I believe you're being a bit too overconfident for someone with no evidence. Am I? Because I don't see you presenting any evidence to the contrary. Without evidence, we're stuck in a stalemate. Agent Lang isn't wrong. His scenario is certainly a probable one. You better hurry up and do something, or Lauren's gonna wind up looking really bad. I know, but first things first, is Agent Lang's line of logic factually correct. Did the two of them really knowingly commit the crime as father and daughter? האם שניהם ידעו את זה? מה פונטה בזה? מה פונטה בלאב לטר הזה? או שזה לא נראה לי שזה לאב לטר, זה טכנית בלאקמייל או משהו כזה. זה היה 10 years ago? נראה לי זה היה 10 years ago אם אני זוכר נכון, זה היה 10 years ago. Is it impossible that they know that fact?
Hold it!
You think they knew? Ah! I don't think only the victim knew. I think the girl realized it as well. They both knew who the other person was, but they had to pretend that they didn't. Because he was on the lam. You got it. The victim couldn't exactly go around flaunting who he was. Furthermore, no, it's United. הייתי אומר שהנושא הזה של הסרוויילנס לא היה יכול לשמור עליהם כי לפי הסרוויילנס הוא לא בא. לא. וואו! וואו! מה זה האנימיישן הזה? מה זה האנימיישן הזה? אומייגאד. אוקיי.
Hold it!
Precisely. And what father would ever willingly kill his own daughter?
Not so fast!
Seen a lot of things in my travels. And I can tell you that being related by blood is sometimes proof of nothing. גם היה אפשר לראות פרופילים, הייתי יכול להביא את לורן, כי אמרה שהיא לא זוכרת את אבא שלה! כן, זה ליטרלי מראה ככה דף לאבדנס. כן. הפנדנט שלה?
Objection!
נופ. Oh. אולי victim's costume?
Objection!
אולי לא פה. קידנאפינג כנראה קורה לפני כל הדיבור הזה. אולי פה לעשות דוסייה?
Objection!
נופ. And then Chilora?
Objection!
Nope. רגע, מהו הלוג'יק שמדברים פה? הנה משהו שאני עכשיו חושב. מה אם... אם מראים פה שזה טכנון של הקדנאפינג, אני זוכר שהיה את הנושא הזה של הדיבור בנוגע ל... כשדיברנו על 4 קדנאפרים, אז הנושא הזה שיש 4 שבו לקחו 2 bad badgers? רגע. רגע לא! 3!
Objection!
אני יכול לפתור את זה בשנייה וחצי! This kidnapping wasn't planned by just 2 people alone. What kind of proof do you have of that? Quite simply, there were 3 kidnappers. 3? Huh, it's animation. 4 costumes were stolen in the Wild Wild West area's back room. We found one of them in the kidnapper's hideout. But as for the other 3, we can assume that they were being worn by 3 different people. We also found a set of 3 cups and 3 folding chairs that were used in the hideout. It all clearly points to a 3-man group. And I believe this 3rd person is the real mastermind behind the kidnapping. Who is this mastermind? I present to you the brains behind the kidnapping. A brain? Lance? I guess שלי. ארנסט לא היה כזה מטורף ככה. קרלן ולורן הם ביחד, זה 2, אני צריך 3. לא הגיוני אמה וונדי, כמה שזה היה מצחיק בנוגע לוונדי. 2 אלה באו רק עכשיו, ומיקינס וקיי לא יכולים להיות ואותו דבר גם גמשו. אז זה חייב להיות לאנס. לאנס אמאנו! וזה אשכרה היה correct choice. Yes, this abduction was in fact schemed by Lance himself. Recall what he said when he appeared before us. Two. הוא אמר 2, אבל באמת היה 3. וגם הוא ידע woman. However, there were 3 kidnappers, which is in direct contradiction to what he said. But I know I only saw 2 people. This guy was being held hostage. It's possible he couldn't see all 3 of them. Ah, yes. About when you were being held. I have my doubts about what happened then. Lance, would you mind telling us what happened while you were being held captive? I really don't remember much anymore. Honestly. If I don't tell you at least something, you won't believe me at all, will you? Yalla! Let's do this. Lance's testimony! I was kidnapped yesterday morning. They had me shut in that room, blindfolded the entire time. But the kidnapper suddenly disappeared around the time I heard the rain falling outside. My hands were cuffed, but it was a stroke of luck that they left me alone. Then I escaped and ran away from that room as fast as I could. Through the underground passageway, I presume. לאן זה היה שמה כשמיילס היה שמה? לאן זה היה בשום מקום כשהיינו ב-isolation room, לבד? עוד אחד עם קיי. Are you okay? Sorry, I really didn't want to recall that horrible ordeal, but now you believe me, right? No, not quite yet. No, no, can you not? Why do you look at me with I see daggers in your eyes? Because he's a prosecutor, and because they're all like that. Well, have you know, Angeline? A prosecutor's eyes are for discerning the truth. And should they be interpreted to be crucial at times, then so be it. There is a sticking point in Lance's testimony. Let's see what he offers up when I push allow. עכשיו אני צריך לעשות פרסים. Okay. Kidnapped yesterday morning. Let me shut in the room blindfolded. But the kidnapper suddenly disappeared around the time I heard rain falling outside. My hands were cuffed, but it was a stroke of luck that they left me alone. I mean, I escaped and ran away from that room as fast as I could. מאחורי לעשות ספרסים פה.
Hold it!
By that room, you mean the room in the kidnapper's hideout, correct? Yes, but I was blindfolded the whole time, so I didn't know that until I made my escape. Then, you were in the same room as your kidnappers? They spoke in hushed tones, but I could catch bits of their conversation. It was definitely 2 people, and one of them was definitely a woman. We were so scared. I could tell they were nearby, so I didn't dare make a move. But it disappeared about the time I heard the rain falling outside. The kidnappers disappeared. They were fell into a sudden silence. I've been left behind in like an unwanted mutt. And what do you mean by unwanted mutt? What a pointless question. Not like he's going to tell you anything new, you know. It's a poetic symbol. You should learn how to use them too. May look refined on the outside. But it's not good if you're not refined on the inside as well. And hands are cuffed, but it was stroke of luck that they left me alone.
Hold it!
Then those cuffs on your wrists. I suppose you are still cuffed in that case. Well, I'm well aware of how I am chained to reality. Couldn't find the key, so I'm afraid I'm stuck like this. Even though I escaped from that jail cell, I will forever be a prisoner. Your jail cell? You may escape and run away from that room as fast as I could.
Hold it!
Can you tell us about when you were abducted in a little more detail? It was a strange morning. I felt like I was right in the middle of a great calm. And where were you when you experienced this calm? A family garden, of course. Where else could it have been? Oh, well, excuse me for asking. This child's more princess than prince. Well, I was out taking a walk to shake off the morning black. Then, out of the blue, someone from behind clamps a hand over my mouth. You didn't see your attacker. I must have used some drug to knock me out. Because before I knew it, I was off in La La Land again. When I woke up, I was in the kidnapper's hideout already, all tied up.
Hold it!
How did you manage to escape? I wanted to just get out of there, but the door leading outside was locked. Which is why I had to use the underground passageway to make my escape. Oh! Outside door was locked! Not really, bitch! I remember our escape to be equally as hard. It is an invaluable piece of testimony. I mustn't let it go unexamined. The door leading outside was locked tight, so I had to use the underground passageway. No! זה לא לדרכם בצד השני! You say that the door leading out was locked, but was it really? Yes! We're talking about that room behind the saloon front, right? Look, I heard that it took quite a few men to get that thing open, right, Sheena? Oh, yes, okay. Yes, that's correct. Then, take a look at this. What is that? A sword? It's not especially reliable. It's not an especially reliable one if it's broken like that. Allow me to start from the end. My conclusion is that the door was never locked. It was simply held shut by this sword, which was used to jam the handle. Lance, even though your hands were cuffed together, you could still use them. If that's the case, then why did you not simply just remove the sword and escape? Oh boy, I was disoriented. Yes, that's it. I didn't notice. As if I should accept that such a bold-faced lie. You locked yourself in a room because you had to make yourself look like the victim. But you did not, in fact, possess the key to that door. That is why you used the prop sword to improvise and create a prison of your own, of your very own.
Knuckle back!
You'll be making this guy out to be one of the kidnappers for some time now. Wonder if you've forgotten something very important along the way. And what would that be? A motive! What else? Do you honestly think that an upright, pure boy like him would hatch up a completely pointless scheme such as kidnapping himself?
Objection!
A bad badger חייב להיות למשהו. This proves that Lance did indeed have a motive to commit this crime. Oh! Viola!
Take that!
To put it simply, Lance has a very urgent need for money. This is hardly your typical love lure. It is, in fact, a collections bill. It appears our upstanding boy has accumulated quite a debt. Is that right, Lance? Looks like it's hard being the son of a rich man, too. It must be rough when you have to resort to stealing from your own old man, huh? Why did I give up? I abducted myself. Plans? It's over, Holly. In this life, we really are bound to our fates after all. All I wanted was to go with you to a new town, somewhere where no one would know us. I wanted us to be well off with that $1 million. But now, that dream is over. Oh, Lance! Then, are you giving yourself up? Yes. I plan to run away from this world with my Lolly. Oliver even helped us with the plan. But then he had to go and stab us in the back. He turned on you? Maybe he don't want to split the ransom money. That's my guess. Happened almost right after you made the drop-off. When we were alone, he attacked me all of a sudden. After a brief struggle, I was able to contain him and keep him under control. We left him inside our room as Lolly and I made our escape. We wore different costumes and split up. Lolly left first in the blue badger costume. Could mean that the person Miss Officer Meeking saw was Miss Pops. Right then, the old man just had to wake up. I was careless, and he tackled me pretty hard from behind. Then, Oliver put on a bad badger costume, took the suitcase with the $1 million and ran. I contacted Lolly right away and warned her that he had a gun. They had no idea that they were related, so I thought that it could only end badly. I still don't believe it! That person was not my father! Because if he was, I just killed my own father! Lolly, it really was you? Wow. That man was not my father! Because at the stadium, there was a bad badger pulling the suitcase with the $1 million in it. But that badger planned his gun me. It meant you should be dead. That's why I used the gun I got from Lance. There was a gunshot, and another person crumpled to the ground, and I ran, scared for my life. Whoa, interesting! Interesting, עכשיו זה כיף. I think the big picture's finally coming into focus, don't you? Lolly, forgive me. I didn't think it would turn into something so frightening. If only I could have protected you. So, Miss Pops surely shot her own dad without even knowing who he really was. If what she says is true. Are you saying she's lying? But why would she lie about something like that? What purpose would it serve? You would be surprised how often people lie without even realizing it themselves, Kay. Huh? What's that supposed to mean? What I mean is, listen very carefully to her confession once more and you'll see. At the stadium, there was a bad badger putting a suitcase with the 1 million. Well, that badger probably is gonna be aiming to me dead. That's why I used the gun I got from Lance. It was a gunshot. The other person crumbled to the ground and I ran scared for my life. Here's what I'm thinking. What? זה 3 רובים! לא היה בכלל רובה לבאד באג'ר אחד! אבל לא, זה כנראה אחד שיש לו. כי היא הייתה בלו.
Hold it!
You shot Mr. Deacon? Miss Pops? Yes, I shot him. And that, as they say, is that. Agent Lang, Miss Pops is far from done. She hasn't even finished her testimony yet. You're going to continue questioning her? What a waste of time. Miss Pops, if you please. All right. There was a gunshot.
Hold it!
Did you take off immediately following the gunshot? Yes. And didn't you attempt to approach the victim at all after he was shot? I was scared. I don't blame you. I would have done the exact same thing. Poor Miss Pops. What will become of her, Mr. Edgeworth? She seems to be telling the truth regarding what happened at the stadium. However, I don't believe it to be absolutely correct. Listen very carefully to her confession once more, and you'll see. Oh! הוא אמור מלמעלה, לא? דיקון היה למעלה. או קולין. קולין היה למעלה. הוא היה על הסטייג'. מה היה הפואנטה לעלות על הסטייג'? מה היה הפואנטה לעלות על הסטייג'? הנה, זו השאלה שלי, מה היה הפואנטה לעלות על הסטייג'?
Hold it!
That was the ransom money, wasn't it? Yes. That's how I was able to identify Mr. Deacon almost immediately. It was all thanks to what Lance told me. And what did he tell you? Well, he called me on my cell phone and told me that Mr. Deacon had betrayed us and ran off with the ransom money. And about how he had the gun.
Hold it!
Were you able to clearly see the gun? Yes, I got a very good look at it while it was pointed at me. Oh, fucker! Why would you try to shoot me? You really think a father would shoot his own daughter, Mr. Edgeworth? I don't know. I want to believe it myself. But it's true. My father's left arm was raised with a gun in it. תודה רבה! שימי את זה בטסטמוני שלך, bitch! That's straight at me. I'm about to die, I thought. Miss Pops! Please calm down and take a deep breath. And then would you allow me to please hear that last statement one more time? Yes, of course. That boy pointed his left hand at me, aiming to shoot me dead. Boy, I am money!
Objection!
Finally! I have here a dossier on your father. And according to this, your father was right-handed. Then, the person putting a gun at you from atop of the stage was not Mr. Decon.
Knuckle back!
Hold on there, Mr. Prosecutor. I think you need to take a refresher course. The Bad Badger has a model gun attached to his right hand, which is why the only way hand he could have held the real gun was his left. Is it possible that it went down like that? יש רובה אחד שנתלש בטוח. Hey Jilang, were you paying attention to what Ms. Pops was saying? And again, I suppose I can't expect someone who has never set foot in court to catch it. Enough of the smugness! Out with it already! Miss Pops told us earlier. A suitcase. Huh? According to you, the Bad Badger had the gun in his left hand, which would mean that he was pulling the suitcase with his right hand. Is it not correct, Miss Pops? Yes, exactly. And I'm sure it was the Bad Badger. It has those huge sunglasses on its face. But if that's the case, even I can see there is a huge contradiction. Yes, Miss Pops claims to have seen the Bad Badger, and yet the Bad Badger had both of his hands full. These two pieces of information contradict with each other, so one must be wrong. It wasn't the Bad Badger, both hands were not occupied, both are correct. כן יש פרוטו חסר. אבל יש סיכוי שאולי לא נמצא בעצם פרוטו. Oh! Blue Badger Lauren, Proto Lawns Bad Oliver. What? אז למה יש שתי Bad Badger costumes? למה יש שתי Bad Badgers? It wasn't a Bad Badger, both hands were not occupied, both of them. זה כן היה Bad Badger, יש שניים. Both hands were not occupied. אולי זה? Oh. No. אולי בגלל שנתלש מאחד. אולי both? לא. It wasn't the Bad Badger, that both hands were not occupied. אם זה לא היה Bad Badger, אז זה מה ששני hands הם. They're both correct. רגע, מה הוא אמר? She claims to have seen a Bad Badger, and yet the Bad Badger has both of his hands full. They're both correct. Impossible! That just leaves us with an irresolvable contradiction. They are snake bad badgers. Miss Pops' entire statement rests on the fact that she saw his sunglasses and beard. But what if that bad badger wasn't wearing pants on his lower half? Oh! This proves that there was a way for the bad badger to freely use both of his hands. Erosh!
Take that!
The costumes have two parts to them, a head and the body. Oh, I get it now! The head Miss Pop saw was probably really the head of the bad badger. However, it is not possible that the body was that of an entirely different badger. Is it not possible that the body was that of an entirely different badger? A different badger? Yes, or to put it more bluntly, I believe it was the lower half of this badger. Body of the bad badger. Oh my god, I'm just gonna the body of the bad badger Miss Pops really saw belonged to this badger. Blue? Blue? זה לא פינק, לא נגעו בכלל בפינק. וגם זה די noticeable. אז בלו? כן, גם לפרוטו יש בעצם צבע שונה. אז בלו.
Take that!
לא. זה אשכרה פרוטו? seriously? הבody זה פרוטו ופרוטו זה לונד. אני חייב לעשות את זה עוד פעם.
Take that!
זה עכשיו אני אעשה סייב פה, אני לא אצטרך לחשוב על זה יותר. פרפקט. יש סיכוי שזה פרוטו?
Take that!
פרוטו. What? The heck is it? It's the Proto Badger. Yes, it's a simple matter of process of elimination. Ech! Pink's obvious, אבל למה לא blue? Miss Pops is wearing the blue badger costume. Oh! Keep Pops and Meekins! We got Pops and Meekins! Oh my god, אני טמבל. Who's wearing the blue badger's costume, so we can eliminate that one. And the pink badger is of the wrong color, which would have been incredibly obvious. משאיר את הגוף של פרוטו. All that is left is the pro badger costume. Miss Pops, who was the one who wore the pro badger costume? Lance. There, Lance. That would be Lance.
Knock him back!
Are you saying what I think you are? The lad's the man who donned the bad badger's head and pretended to be Mr. Deacon? On top of which, he planned to shoot Miss Pops while wearing that hideous thing? The stage that was set up in the stadium was nothing more than that. A setup. And its purpose was to lead Miss Pops into believing she had committed murder. Standing there in front of Miss Pops and pretending to be the victim. It was all done so that she would pull the trigger. I have no idea what you're talking about. What exactly would I have had to do all that, huh? There is but one reason. Lance Amano. You are the real culprit behind the murder of Mr. Oliver Deacon. What? surrender! Take it back! You take it back right now! Just out of curiosity, Lance, which is your dominant hand? I'm left-handed. But what does that have to do with anything? It depends. According to Miss Pops, her Tiger held a gun in his left hand.
Knock him back!
Yep. Ha! Ha! Who is what-handed doesn't prove a thing! And besides, now you're just being absurd! It's not like the Pro Badger is bulletproof. The duds. Was misfired, he would have found himself dead, right?
Objection!
They are blanks. Of course, logically. If he had been shot, he probably wouldn't be here with us. But I believe he had thought of that as well, and prepared accordingly. And this should be all the evidence you need. This is how Lance made sure that he wasn't hit by a bullet. Blanks. The blanks.
Take that!
We found one half of a bad badger costume in the hideout. A broken one. It was not the same one that the victim was wearing. Plus, it was missing something. And that something is the model gun that the bad badger carries, which can fire blanks. What? Miss Pops, where is the gun you used now? I threw it away into the sea. That makes it a bit tough to verify what it was. Although I believe that we can safely assume that that was the model gun in question.
Knock him back!
Have heard enough! All you've been spouting so far is pure conjecture. I admit that as long as the model gun is lost to us, I can't prove I'm right. However, I can't say that the probability that I am right is very high. Okay, let's pretend that you're right, and that the murder at the stadium was a fabrication. In that case, where do you think the murder really took place, Mr. Prosecutor? I don't know yet. Ha! I knew you were full of it. A main gate. Voilà, אז זה. הדוק, סליחה, לא הדק, דוק. היא אמרה שהיא צחקה את זה לים. However, I do believe that the murder took place during an earlier time frame. Please, wait a second. It's simply not possible. Because I saw Mr. Deacon after he was restrained by Lance. She saw the victim in the state of being restrained. Is that new information? I came back to the hideout long after the other two. By that time, Lance had already subdued and restrained Mr. Deacon. He had tied Mr. Deacon securely to the beam in the room next door. After that, the two of us put our costumes and made our escape. F.O. So, Mr. Deacon must have escaped right after the two of you left, right? He thought that it would attract too much attention if we left together, so I left first. We planned to meet up again at the stage in the stadium. But then, as I was walking through the park, I got a call from Lance on my cell phone. Oliver managed to escape. It looked like he was waiting until I was alone. He also stole the gun from me at that time. And then the murder happened. Mr. Deacon must have overheard their plan to meet up at the stage. Oh, Mr. Prosecutor, Miss Pop saw the victim with her own eyes. Which means that the victim was still alive at that time, wouldn't you agree? Why does that sound so wrong to me? There must be something amiss about this account. Let's see what happens if I examine it in more detail.
Hold it!
Sure! Hey, Ma? Ma, saya? I came back after that. When exactly did you arrive back at the hideout? It was after we had picked up the ransom money. Lama sa nakatski pa, man. And where were you up? Where were you up until the time you returned? I was escorting the park out and making preparations for our escape. I walked around in the various areas looking for the best route. Ah, so each of them had their own roles to play. After I was done, I went back to the hideout. Nasa care about the show? You are sure that was Mr. Deacon that you saw? Yes, I'm certain of what I saw. Did you go in the other room to check? And said that it was best if I didn't get too close to him. Lance, you're such a kind soul. Then, are you telling me that you did not confirm that it was Mr. Deacon for yourself? I checked through the slit in the door that separates the two rooms. He had a Bad Batch's head on, so I'm absolutely sure. Oh! Avanti! 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 See me at the testimony, son of a bitch! It just had to be Mr. Deacon. You saw a Bad Badger head. The captive had a Bad Badger's head on, so I'm absolutely sure it was Mr. Deacon. Zelaya Deacon! Zaya Miles! Zaya Miles! Zelaya Deacon! Zaya fucking Miles!
Objection!
Zaya Miles! Not Deacon. Zelaya Oliver. Zaya Miles. Miss Pops. The person you saw was not Mr. Deacon at all. Huh? The person you actually saw was this person. Miles Edgeworth. It was me. Huh? The person I saw was you, Mr. Edgeworth? I always thought it was a bit odd. Why would the kidnappers abduct me, even after I had handed over the ransom? Oh, okay, wow! Actually, this בהתחלה זה היה פרודו בדג'ר מפיל את מיילס? זה ליטרלי היה לאנס! כל זה היה התוכנית של לאנס כל הזמן הזה! לאנס, צריכה להסביר? It's not as though I saw the face of the kidnappers. If I were them, I would just taken the $1 million and ran. But, in the end, there was a point to all. It was all to make me look like Mr. Deacon. And if that was the reason for which I was abducted, then I believe we can assume that the victim was already dead at that time. Well, Lance, am I right? That's... You showed Miss Pops a person, namely me, with a Bad Badger's head on. And then made your costumed escape together. Or so you pretended. Huh? What do you mean he pretended? Exactly that. I believe Lance watched you escape and then doubled back to the hideout. Probably to come and remove the Bad Badger head from my unconscious self. And to create his fake prison with the prop sword. He then escaped via the passageway. Hold your tongue, boy! Don't get caught up in that tidal wave of words coming out of Mr. Prosker's mouth. Tidal wave? We've heard a lot come out of you, but I've yet to see a shred of evidence. זה לא מספיק, כן, בדיוק, זה לא מספיק הקidnapping של מיילס. מיילס literally היה kidnapped, וזה למה לנג הגיע לפה in the first place. הסיבה שבכלל הגעת לפה זה בגלל שמיילס נעלם. לא רק לנס, אלא גם מיילס אחר כך. The victim's betrayal and his subsequent detainment. All that could have happened while you were out cold. That's right. You were out for quite a while, Mr. Prosecutor. Even if that were the case, Miss Pops would have still seen me tied to that beam. I was scared of Mr. Deacon, so I didn't go into the next room. I really had no idea if you were in the room not Mr. Edgeworth. You see? It would seem that you can't prove a thing. Who said that? Emma hold. Ernest? Okay. Please, wait! Mr. Armano. Miles, my boy! It looks like you're really giving it all. Giving it your all. It lands. It's not good to cause trouble for others. Dad? Let's see. You are in charge. You're the one in charge of the investigation, correct? Yeah, that's right. I'm sorry that my son has been nothing but trouble. This probably won't make up for anything, but I have some evidence for you. Oh! Oh, do you now? Oh! Is that what I think it is? Bad Badger costume! Okay. Wow. Oh. It's the Bad Badger costume, and the victim was wearing a gun! I couldn't wait around for the police, so I went out and found these myself. It appears that they were disposed of in the sea. Is there no one at this country who actually obeys the law? There. Now, Edgelang, please calm down. What the heck is that scrap of paper? This appears to be a letter from the Chief of Police. Please allow Mr. Armando complete freedom to do as he sees fit, it says. What? The Chief of Police? What the? Just who does he think he is? The person who wields the highest authority in this area. There now. There is no need to be so upset. I'm not a cop from this land, so I'm not bound by the laws of your country. Oh, now. This wasn't meant to strong-arm you into anything. It's just a request. I'm only asking that you please respect the laws of the land. Can't really say no to that. However, returning to the topic at hand. Doesn't matter who found the evidence. Its value remains unchanged. Alright now, let's take a look at this new evidence. I've already got the results back. The special forensics research lab that I'm on good terms with conducted tests. To verify that the blood on this custom belonged to Oliver. As for the gun, the only fingerprints they could have found were yours, Lauren. Oh! Interesting! Okay. What? זה מתאר מה של לורן אמרו. אני יש שתי רובים! אז זה נכון! זה נכון, לורן לקחה רובה ורצתה... רגע, איך הגיע הפינגרפרינטס?
You disappoint me, Miles. I can't believe that you would cause my son such stress and headache. Thank goodness I was able to find the final pieces of evidence. At least you have no reason left to push my poor boy around.
That's it? These are the case-making pieces of evidence? Huh, I'll be the judge of that. One person has inspected every suspicious-looking nook and cranny. This bullet hole. He looks kind of burned out around the edges. Wait, those burn marks were left by the gunpowder. This is a most important fact. Why is that? Because at close range. Because she's not measured at close range. Because it is proof that the victim was shot at point-blank range. Gunpowder proof is upon... Okay, יופי. Could this gun be the actual murder weapon? למה אני מרגיש שהרובה הזה הוא בעצם הרובה של לורן? הרובה שיש למיקנס. לא הרובה שיש ללורן. אבל גם זה... אבל היא כן אמרה שהיא זרקה את הרובה שלה לים. Used to kill Deacon was originally stolen from God by begging the person to escape. רגע, מה? Was originally stolen from God by a victim during escape. זה היה באסקייפ שלו! הרובים האלה שונים! הרובים האלה שונים, הם לא אותו רובה! לא יודע, אני יכול לעשות את זה מישהו. או, הנה. What's this? It looks like there's something inside the customer's head. Hey! They sparkle! I bet they're really valuable! זה זכוכית. Sorry, but they're just pieces of a mirror. But why are they in... Oh! Okay.
Well, aren't these not the most definitive pieces of evidence you've ever seen?
Thank you, Dad. That should be enough to convince even Mr. Edgeworth over there. יש את המראה! יש את המראה השבורה!
Make no mistake, there are fingerprints on the murderer's gun. And they prove that it was Lolly who killed Oliver. But Oliver was also after Lolly's life. So, Mr. Edgeworth, then you must see that Lolly was only acting in self-defense.
The fingerprints on the weapon, huh? Oh no! This isn't helpful at all!
Look, Mr. Edgeworth, all I want to do is to save Lolly. But in the end, all I can do is watch on as she takes the punishment for her crimes.
That may be all you can do, however. I still have a case to solve and a job to do. The job of unraveling your insidious lie.
You wound me. Why won't you believe me, even in face of all this evidence?
היא אמרה שזרקה את הרובה שלה בלי קשר. Lolly will kill Oliver was also after Lolly. So even you must see that Lolly was acting in self-defense. הדבר שהייתי אומר כ-obvious contradiction זה שלא אמרו להיות fingerprints! אם כולם הם בקוסטומס!
אני מניחה שאפילו לא צריך לעשות שום examination. מתקדם, בזורים שלי סתם from the ground, but yeah, I think we're done this game.
Objection!
לא. חסר שאין פה שום דבר, בדרך כלל יש פה משהו בסוף אם אני זוכר את זה מקודם. המוזיקה הזאתי. Lolly was killed off.
Hold it!
Those fingerprints. Are you sure they belong to Miss Pops?
There's no mistake about it. Through my collections, I have the best forensics techniques money can buy performed.
I find that to be a bit peculiar.
What? Are you trying to pick an argument with me?
What should I do? Should I raise objection? Frankly, I don't believe that Miss Pop's fingerprints should be on that gun to begin with. Okay, יופי, אז כן ניגשים לזה, לא אמור להיות בכלל fingerprints. That's what the reason why Miss Pop's fingerprints should not be on that gun is... Can't have a costume.
Take that!
It's simply not possible for Miss Pops to have left any prints on the murder weapon. Because while she was at the stadium, Miss Pops was wearing a costume.
But there's been no mistake. We found fingerprints.
Well, Miss Pops, do you remember touching the gun at all at any time? Yes! As a matter of fact, I did hold it for a bit back in the hideout. I handed it out to Mr. Deacon when he and Lance left for the haunted house. They were through the ransom money, I suppose. And there you have it. That is when Miss Pop's prints found their way onto the gun. Do you understand now, Mr. Amano? The fingerprints do nothing to prove that Miss Pops is the murderer. But you still don't have anything to prove that she isn't the killer, right? You seem very adamant about insisting that your girlfriend is a cold-blooded killer. Oh, Lance! What? No way! I'm incredibly worried about her. That doesn't change the fact that you don't have any evidence, right? הרובה בכלל לא היה שלה. That's where you're wrong. I have the evidence.
What? How?
The story that Miss Pops killed the victim at the stage in the stadium. The whole affair is simply not true. Because there was not a real crime scene, but a setup. This proves that the real murder was not committed at the stadium at all. A mirror fragment.
Take that!
What? מה? Oh, that? I found Miss Pops' fingerprints on this gun. You let me hold it for a sec? I shouldn't if you don't know how to handle it. Besides, it's Miss Pops' print. Besides, Miss Pops' prints are on it. Look! I'm wearing gloves! It'll be okay. I just want to take a look, that's all. It's not like I'm going to run off with it. The only things that don't return are treasures. Killer 801 would land you in jail, you know.
Wait, is that a revolver? Is that a clone? Excellent mirror!
Take that!
Excellent! A mirror fragments. Cروבים. רגע, מה זה? זה לא יכול להיות פוינט בלנק אם זה היה בסטדיום לפי הריקריאשן. Let's take a good look at the costume the victim was wearing. Then I believe you will see why I insist he was not shot at the stadium. I didn't want fucking mirror fragments! Or whatever! This is the part of the costume that proves it. A mirror... A mirror fragments? There's no fucking mirror fragments in my ability.
Take that!
אוקיי, לא, זה חייב להיות פוינט בלנק. זה חייב להיות הפוינט בלנק ריינג'.
Take that!
The burn around this bullet hole was made when the victim was shot at point blank range. Ah! So then you mean the murder Miss Olbach's at the stadium really was? Yes. She saw two people, but they were separated by a distance. If the victim was indeed shot from below the stage, there shouldn't be gunpowder burn. Ah! Look at you, Mr. Smarty Pants Prosecutor. Since you seem to know all the answers, why not tell us what the real crime scene is then? Oh my god. And set me up to look like Mr. Deacon back at the hideout. If that's the case, then the murder must have happened prior to that. And the location where Lance and the victim were just before I was imprisoned was... a haunted house. Got it! I know the real servant of it. A haunted house! The real location in which Mr. Deacon was killed is here. Haunted house.
Take that!
I think it's not unreasonable to assume the murder took place in the haunted house. The haunted house? Yes, and I have proved that it is highly likely that the victim was killed here. Suck us off! I proves that the real scene of the crime was the haunted house. A mirror! These were inside the costume the victim was wearing. They're fragments of a mirror. A mirror? What does that have to do with anything? Indeed. You don't expect to find pieces of a mirror inside a costume. Yeah, that's actually pretty dangerous. However, there is one place I can think of where there is a plethora of mirror fragments. And that is the haunted house. Lad Samano, I propose that you killed Mr. Deacon with the revolver in the haunted house. After that, you stole the blue Badger-mobile to move his body into the Wild West area. The timing of when the blue Badger-mobile was stolen confirms this as fact. Miles, my boy, say no more. I'm sorry, Mr. Amano, but I cannot do that.
Not so fast!
Be quiet!
Yes, please do something. Stop that boy from speaking any more nonsense.
Ernest Amano, correct? I meant you! Now be quiet, Gramps!
How dare you!
I don't need words. The only thing I require is evidence. Decisive evidence. And to call these mirror bits decisive is a bit too presumptuous, Mr. Prosecutor. What? Chena! Wasn't there a mirror in the kidnapper's hideout, Ken? זה מה שאני חשבתי, זה היה ב-hideout!
Yes, there was a mirror there. A mirror that's for the haunted house.
You see? Is it possible the fragments got into the costume there?
But, Agent Lang, there were no fragments on the floor, so the probability is very low.
Knuckle fast.
Probability? Lang Z says, on choose path, the word probability does not exist. The only thing that does is definitive proof. The question, Mr. Prosker, is, do you have the definitive proof you need?
Well, Mr. Edgeworth, do you?
I know that, of course.
Do I have solid evidence that proves the murder took place at the haunted house? The answer is no.
See? So, since you don't have any, shut up!
I don't have the evidence yet, but I'm certain the murder occurred around the time I turned the ransom money. The ransom order. At that time, the only people at the haunted house besides myself were Laird and Mr. Deacon. If I can prove that the murder took place at the haunted house, then I can prove Laird's guilt in connection to the murder. What now, Mr. Edgeworth? Agent Lang, I have a special request.
Yeah?
I'd like to prove to you that the scene of the crime was indeed the haunted house.
Oh my god, I'll be the chef, I'm gonna say that!
Why in the world would you asking the werewolf for permission? Because I don't really have a choice if I want to find the truth.
Alright, permission granted. But you're not to touch a single thing, got it?
That won't be a problem. That's the important... all that's important to me is that the truth be brought to light. It doesn't matter by who or how it's done, as long as it is.
Gina!
I'm here.
Put in the paperwork for the authorization immediately.
Understood. I'll go get the word group's approval.
Oh. Who was that?
No. Let's hold on for a second. There's no need to obtain approval. Mr. Romano? Agent Lang, if you would please take a look at this.
What is this? Gina?
It's the deed to the haunted house.
Oh, is that convenient?
The deed?
Read it out loud.
Cable Land Inc. hereby bequeaths the property known as the haunted house to Mr. Romano for the lump sum of $1 million paid in full in cash.
What? Ho ho ho! As you can see, I am now the legal owner of the haunted house.
Are you kidding? When did you?
I ran into the owner of the park earlier, and we made the deal almost immediately. Oh, quickly things move when you can prepare $1 million in a blink of an eye.
That's that $1 million you paid. Don't tell me it was.
Oh, that's right. This disgusting suitcase belongs to you, doesn't it? I don't have any use for it, so you may have it back now.
You used the ransom money? My Lance is a good boy. He even apologized for the kidnapping a bit earlier. So I do believe that I will forgive him. After all, he did return the ransom money. That's the way things are. So if you would please discuss things with me from now on.
Discuss? What is there to discuss?
Why, permission to enter the haunted house, of course.
However, based on listening to Lance's story, Mr. Amano was out there printing us.
Permission to search the haunted house is denied. End of discussion. Agent Lang, I want you to arrest that girl. Miles, you should hurry on home now, my boy, before I really lose my temper.
Someone who definitely has that deck stacked in his favor here. What should I do? If I leave it like this,
The truth will be lost forever.
unless I save, okay, why not? But wow! Why? Ashka! Why? למה עוד אחד? איי. אולי אני אחזור עוד כמה שעות אחר כך בשביל לעשות את זה, אבל זה יהיה הסיום של הפרק של היום פה. Are you serious? זה אשכרה מעצבן אותי. לפחות השגתי כמה achievement'ים. השגתי 2 achievement'ים חדשים לפחות. אחד שזה ליטרלי פיניקס מאב ופרל, והשני זה... I met a care of the blue badger for the Gateway Land main gate באפיסוד 3. Like I said, familiar face and distance from the bridge in front of the main gate just after finding Lance Amano. Okay. Looking into the challenges of ladders and step ladder. Oh boy. זה יהיה מעצבן! לעשות achievement הזה, אני צריך שכאילו להסתכל ולגלל איפה יש לאדר, איפה יש סטפ לאדר. לפחות זה... לא נותר לי הרבה מהצ'פטר הזה כנראה, אז זה כבר יהיה בפרק הבא. אז אני אסיים את הפרק של היום פה! כן, ירין פגעים בסרטון הלאה ובשית, גם גימס מקווה שנהנתם, וירין, אאוט! ביי חברים, מקווה שאתם נהנים!